Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Fire up, you bloody pelican, as Josh would say. We're back again. It's Send It Mate Podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Josh.
No, I'm Gouchy.
And there was a massive awkward pause there.
No, I said it. Did you hear me?
Yeah, no, there was a distinct pause between Josh and Couchy. It was.
He's gone.
It was a build-up. It wasn't a pause. It was a deliberate build-up.
An anticlimactic build-up. We've got something to get you climactic.
You're going to get me climaxing, Josh.
Yeah.
Go for it. I love it when
Yeah.
you make me climax, mate.
All right, I got a joke for you. What kind of food does a lesbian love?
Free salad.
Anything they can eat out.
Fair enough. Go again.
I could come up with some flaws, but anyway.
Yeah.
Hang on, all right. What goes in hard and dry but comes out soft
Josh.
and wet? Wow.
Josh.
Gum.
Josh.
Gum. Goes in hard and comes out
Gum.
soft and wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, chewing gum.
Yeah.
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 Makes sense.
Fair enough.
Makes
I'll give you
sense.
that.
You sick man. You were thinking something else. What were you thinking?
Well, I've got another one, actually. So what do you call an emo with no breasts?
Nah.
A cutting board.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've heard that one.
That's one I heard this week. The other one I heard this week, I've told you boys already, but I'll fire it away for the listeners anyway. And it's two tampons are walking down the street. Which one says hello first? Neither. They're both stuck up cunts.
Oh, that's dirty.
I can only think of one, but I'm pretty sure it's been said before.
Go.
What's the difference between a Christian camp and a Jewish camp? The Christians come home.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Well, we'll see how long this lasts on YouTube, before we get fucking.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Kicked off.
No, it's,
Can't you say jokes
Well,
on
it's 'cause it-
YouTube?
I mean, that's,
No, the Jews were just having a great time, and that's why they didn't come home. That's all.
yeah, because Jewish camp's so fun.
Yeah.
Jewish camp
We're
is
banned.
fire.
9. 9. 9.
That was a good one.
I want to see how long this lasts on fucking YouTube. I really do. Oh, shit. We're just going anti-Semitic, racist, fucking you name it.
The line's already been taken down, mate.
Hey,
What do we got for tonight?
well, I'll tell you what we've got. We've got someone in the comments, Aaron. He's sent us the first part of a joke, and that is, why are cyclones named after women? And I'm hoping he's going to send me the answer because he's on a 20-second delay.
He's on 30-second delay. We'll just come back to us.
There's the teaser. Why are cyclones named after women? Maybe if I prompt him and go, why?
No, I think the
I'll get
heads
an
up
answer.
would be if anyone else who wants to put in a joke, chuck in both, like give the answer as well, so we can read it out.
Yeah.
Probably the heads up there.
I'll read the whole thing. Otherwise, we've got this weird ass delay.
Yeah,
But no, we're having
we're
fun.
good at talking shit and filling in time, but
Yeah. Padding for 20 seconds is interesting. But anyway, like I'm enjoying the lives. It's a bit spicy. It's less editing for me and things happen and people get to see all our flaws.
Josh gets nervous.
Yeah, a little bit actually.
I think I like it just because Josh doesn't like it. That's
That's not very nice.
I'm enjoying that fact.
It's democracy,
but
mate.
if
We
it was,
voted.
if the role was reversed, you would have said the same thing.
Nah. No, I'm a nice bloke, mate. Not as mean and nasty as
Yeah, to everyone else.
you girls.
You girls.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go again. Sexist.
You can be girls if you want to.
I mean, are you used to performing live? What have you had to do live, like in front of people? Like, surely you would have done some like demonstrations or talks or shit in the army.
Oh, yeah, just your throwaway shit. But other
Just
than
a
that,
PowerPoint.
like oral presentations at school. Of course, you're going to get a giggle out of that. Fuck you.
You're the
You
fucking
cannot use
love the
any
oral
word with
presentations, wouldn't
used to because you just take it out of context.
I've always found oral presentations, the phrase funny,
Oh, God.
presenting for some oral, but yeah.
Have we got the punchline yet or what?
No, not yet. Come on, Aaron.
What
Fucking-
about you?
Don't leave me hanging, Aaron.
You've played the drums on stage, so you're all pretty clued into, being in front of a crowd.
Doesn't phase me. Like, but there's also like a degree of fucking, you feel protected because you're behind a set of drums. So it's not anything like being front of stage, like the singer or guitarist. They're up front with everyone. Like, I'm behind a kit and a bit of distance. So that doesn't usually phase me. But a lot of people still, they're in front of people performing something live. They're scared of fucking up. So,
Yeah, well, it's big pressure.
but I don't know. I mean,
I was in front of kids today because one of the places where I work.
are representing kids.
Oral
That's weird.
presentation.
Nah, well, it's school holidays and they do like a riding lessons for horses. They bring them around like the group of kids and it's pretty much just talk about the farriers.
It's not
So you're sitting there working in front of these kids. It's hard enough to learn how to shoe and trim a horse as it is, and these kids are suddenly watching you. I'm like, yeah, this is not fun.
You do have a bit of performance anxiety, Josh? I've found.
I smashed it out, like it was fine, but I just didn't enjoy. I don't know, being a spectacle in front of a live audience. That's for sure.
You don't like being the
Yeah.
center of attention.
Hey.
Didn't like being the center of attention.
Yeah, I just didn't like it because if you did fuck up, you're like, yeah, okay, everyone can see.
Actually, my brother's a bit like that working because I work with my brother and like he's fine. And then you watch someone come and watch him work and he just fucking freezes up and starts talking to himself and second guessing. And you're like, mate, you know what you're doing. Just back yourself and do it. Like it tenses up a bit and oh shit, there's some scrutiny going on. Performance
I
anxiety.
think people forget that 98% of people who actually watch someone work has no idea what they're doing. They're just watching. Like there's that 2% that'll know how to do it better, and they're like, "What the fuck's this cunt doing?" But yeah, most of them just are watching.
The one industry that doesn't count would be like the porn industry. Because you know what
I
to
know
do.
we don't know what we're doing.
I mean, it's not that hard. I wouldn't have thought. Apparently, it's. I mean, I
Well,
wouldn't want.
if it's not that hard, Caleb, you should take the blue pill. Right?
Bum ching.
There's a problem.
No, I can see it'd be a long day if you're not into the person. Like, as a dude, you got to be into it, unless you're having, the blue pill or an injection or whatever to keep you hard. Because that's a fucking
I just rubber band it, mate.
that's the place you're gonna have performance anxiety with a crew of people, like sound people and fucking a dude with a camera fucking halfway up your door trying to get it close up, and you got to be a confident dude, I reckon, or just fucking blue pill. It's pretty common.
The fucking the fuzzy mic's just tickling your back.
What about you, Shannon? Have you had to do things in front of people before?
I have, but I can't recall where right now. Like school stuff, that's generally given. Jeez. Yeah, school and army is probably the only things I've had to sort of get up and do stuff in front of. Like, I guess army terms is probably the parade that I went on for when 7RA got the colours. Well, their new colours. That was in front of a crowd. That was kind of daunting. But then again, you sort of, what you're doing. You've practiced it a million times. So it's not so bad. But yeah, like, when I started being on this podcast, it was always in the back of my mind that people are listening. And now people are watching. But now I feel good about it. And the live doesn't really affect me because it feels like it's the same as a podcast.
Yeah.
So
There is definitely something about having a microphone in front of your face, though, for a lot of people. That just freaks me out. We're talking in front of.
I got no microphone.
Some people thrive with a phallic object in front of their mouth. It's just, I think Aaron's left us hanging, by the way. Like, someone needs to Google this joke. Why are cyclones named after women?
I've heard it before.
Yeah, I'm sure I have too, but someone Google it.
Yeah, I have too.
Someone Google it so we get the answer, because he's left us high and dry.
Someone's yelling at their fucking whatever at the answer. So
Well, someone's yelled it like when we first asked the question, to be honest. But whatever. It's fun being left alone.
It's that damn 20-second delay shit, mate.
no, this is longer than 20 seconds, Josh. I think he's bailed. So we move on.
No, I mean, like, he was waiting for an answer and got to like 15 seconds. He was like, fuck these cunts. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's live, but it's not like instant.
He obviously enjoyed watching us. Just wanted to get his joke up and then left.
Well, have you Googled the answer? Oh, you can't because you're on your phone. Josh, you're the one.
No, that's
Do it. But yeah, I reckon I still used to get pretty nervous doing presentations at uni, even though it was your peers, because
yeah.
I mean, generally because we were presenting. I mean, I did industrial design, so I was like presenting a project that I'd been working on. That made it actually not too bad because you knew your process, you knew what you were trying to achieve, and you were just talking about it to people, and then most of them were your mates. So that wasn't too bad, other than the fact you're worried about what your grade's going to be. And I remember I was pointing to these presentation boards and I was saying, if I can draw your attention to this particular thing. But because I was like a little bit nervous, I kept saying, if I can draw your attention. And people afterwards are like, were you saying I fucking draw your attention? And I was like, no, if I can. Everyone just thought I was just like held chilled and be like,
quickly.
fucking check out this bit.
Speaking of being like nervous in front of people watching, I'm not sure if I brought this up on the podcast or not. Have I told you about when I got paid to be a stripper?
Hello, what?
Yeah, so like
Fair income. You've been fair income on it. Hang on, before you start the story, we've got an answer. One of our other listeners or viewers has given the punchline, to why are cyclones named after women? Thanks, Azza. They usually take the house after.
Yes, I've heard that. That's a good one. About fucking time.
Oh, cheers, bro. You saved us. Anyway, back to Shannon being a fucking stripper.
But yeah, so like when I was playing footy, this is back when I was living in Horsham. We were at a practice match down along the coastline somewhere. I'm going to say Port Fairy, but I don't think it was. And after the game, me and two other mates are walking down to the beach, just so I can walk. We walked past his house, and there was like girls hanging out the front. And we're like, what the fuck's going on here? Kept walking. And one of them comes running up behind us. And she's got like fucking a bottle of wine, I think in one hand and a glass in the other. And they're like, our stripper is double booked and we can't get anyone. Can we pay you guys $50 to strip and to do it for us? Because they were already at the hens night. That was where the hens night was.
This sounds like a dodgy pickup blind bloke used to get chicks.
I'm just
strippers
imagining
No,
mingers, man, just like real mingers.
Remember, we're live, Josh. Remember?
And fucking yeah, performance anxiety there. That was nerve wracking for sure, but I did it. I'm glad I did it.
Like,
At least I could say I've done it.
how much did you strip down to? I want details now, mate.
Nah, just stripped down just to the underwear. So didn't go any further. I don't know.
Give it
I'm not sure if
gave a bit of a fluff beforehand.
You pumped up
bit.
the
You have
gym.
to.
You gotta
You have to, man.
gotta give the people what they want.
But that was a fun night actually. They gave us a 50 because it was me and another mate. They weren't going to do it until I said, "Like, fuck it, why not?" And then one of the guys was like, "All right, let's do it as well."
How old
So-
were you?
It was before the army, so I would have been 19,
Yeah, right.
18, 19.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What 18, 19-year-old's going to say no to getting his kid off in front of a bunch of women?
He would have
Yeah.
looked like a 12-year-old, so these mingers were probably pedo mingers.
Is this a new word for you?
No,
Minger,
Josh,
by
when
the
you,
way?
Nah. Hell,
Josh,
gee,
when
mate.
you were 18, you looked 12.
Yeah, fucking
me.
oath. Yeah, fucking oath I did. No, mate, I've seen you like at that age. You,
But that
you
was
look young.
feeding us drinks and paid us money, and we stuck around afterwards for a bit as well. So it was good.
What song did you dance to?
Pony.
I have no idea, man. That was years ago.
Did you dance? Or
So-
did you actually dance to a
But
song,
the-
or did you just fucking slowly remove
Yeah, no,
things?
I danced. Yeah, just swayed. I chucked on the teddy bear outfit.
The old dancing bear. Fucking hell.
Yeah, no, but yeah, dance, and it was. Oh, they said they had fun, so that's the main thing.
I'll do it to pump up the jam. Like, dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
I don't think you
Pump
do.
up the jam.
God, you don't lie. You won't do it at all.
Nah,
I don't think you would.
No, I'd do it to pump up the jam just because it would be funny as fuck.
No, I reckon you'd be too nervous, Josh.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's live. You can't pre-record it, edit it, and then do it. It's live, man.
Yeah, I'm just not ashamed about my body, mate. So.
Fuck off.
just imagine having a cramping session in the middle of a strip dance.
Violent spasms might
Yeah.
just enhance the experience, mate.
Actually, you haven't had one for a while, man.
I have.
No,
not,
you haven't.
Not in the presence of us. There was a time when you would,
Every hunting trip, it was always a spasm.
every
or
hunting
two or
trip,
multiple,
every
like-
podcast, there was a bit of fucking nerve tweaking going on.
Yeah, I haven't had one on a podcast for a while, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's good. So it's getting somewhat better somehow.
I just think it's not happening during the podcast time, which is good. I was in pain
Yeah, fair
Saturday night when we were out hunting. I was in a fair bit of pain. In my knees actually.
Well, I'm not surprised, and we'll get to that for obvious reasons. You were sore. No, I mean, is this a long start at the segue into where we want to go, or
I'm just keeping it fucking rolling,
Oh,
mate.
anyway,
Keeping it fresh.
Josh is going to have sore knees on Saturday night, as we will get to. Find out why.
Bloody hell.
Oral presentation.
He presented well on both knees.
Yes.
Anyway,
You're both just jealous because of fucking Marak.
you do have tits.
The what? Oh, you're rack. Okay.
His tits.
Yeah, I'm going to take half of it, but yeah.
You're going to take half of Marak.
Yeah.
Really?
Just out of jealousy, that's all. And I leave the other half as a reminder that it could have been a full one, but you're a smart ass, so therefore I took it.
Jealousy's a curse.
It is. All right, well, we should probably get into what the fuck we're on about. And as we mentioned last week, we were going on a hunting trip. And we have been on said hunting trip. And it was
a busy weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend though. Good fun. So we went back to the property where we have that reel where Josh and I are by the fire, as I mentioned. Nice little hut, bunk beds, accommodation. We had a bit of a change up to the setup this time, courtesy of a mate who, on the Friday before we headed down, talking to Couchy and said, hey, I'm looking at getting a generator. Do you boys want to be in on the fucking deal? Because there is actually a socket where you can plug in a generator at this hut as well and get the lights going.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we got all our shit together and then hung around and collected the generator.
Which was a clusterfuck in the end.
Which actually, it's more of a clusterfuck because you guys haven't paid me the portions.
You now have heard how noisy it is. I don't know if I want to. Someone said, oh, it's
No.
as quiet as a Honda. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in that.
I'm just like 5 times the amount.
For a Honda Quiet, yeah.
And to be honest, we could have positioned that better to mitigate that sound a little bit better, but it was raining, so we had to be careful.
It sounded like a John Deere, mate. What, fucking valve bouncing.
We did have it right next to
It
a
got-
tin shed.
It supplied us power to the lights that we could use.
Eventually. Eventually it's the
Yeah,
power.
Are we going to go through that story now, or are we going to...
Yeah,
Oh.
roll into it.
Well, hang on.
All right, so we go.
Hang on.
Okay.
Like, all right, so there's a generator. We'll get to the generator because
All right.
fucking starting off, it's a 3.5 hour drive to where we need to go. Fucking, so we've loaded everything up. A mate's Jacob, good on you, mate. He's dropped the generator around. Should be good to go, boys. You just got to fill that with a bit of fuel. And we're looking at it. And it's like, oh, it's 2 female plugs coming out of a generator. I've never fucking used a generator other than one that's already been set up and I've just turned it off and on.
Yeah.
So he's going, oh, yep. We've looked at it and there's 2 female plugs coming out of the thing. We're like, oh, fuck, what's on the wall at the shack, like at the hut? Surely will it be a male plug coming out the wall or? And Jacob was just like, oh, yeah, no, it's a female, so you have to get a male to male. Just go to Bunnings, grab one. And I'm thinking, okay. Oh, we'll take your word for it. So we lobbed into Bunnings on the way. And I started Googling once we were looking at these shelves and not seeing a male. And a male electrical cord is called a Widowmaker because you can potentially plug it both into a socket and fucking kill yourself. So after consulting with the fucking dude at Bunnings, we're like, well, surely it's a male connector coming out the wall at the hut because male
Has to be,
plugs don't
yeah.
exist. So we left it at that, hoping and praying. Filled up the generator at the petrol station and continued on a merry way. Got down there. What time did we fucking rock up?
Pretty late. 'cause we stopped off
It was
and had
late.
a feed.
I think it was 10 o'clock.
No,
Oh, you're right.
no, it wasn't that late. I think it was 9.
No, it would have been later.
All right.
Would have been 10 because we were going to stop off for a feed in the way and originally we were just going to go, oh, let's just do the usual, stop in, grab a bit of fucking Hungry Jacks, whatever.
Oh, we had dinner, yeah.
Josh was like, oh, well, maybe let's go to the pub. Go to the pub in Meningie. So I thought, are they still going to be open? That was my comment. Are they still going to be open? We rocked up 7:45. We're there. front bar's packed. People are eating. All right, there must be a bit of food. Then we went to the diner. Not many people in there. Going up to the counter. She was trying to fob us off to the front. She's like, we're about to close. I'm like, well, we were in the front bar. There's no room. She's like, oh, all right. Well, you better fucking order quickly then. Like by this time, it was like 10 to 8. They close at 8. No dramas. Fucking go for lives. Schnitzel each. Oh, you had the roast of the day. God, that was a good meal.
It was nice, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Pumped out of there. And then, yeah, that's why I reckon it was about 10 o'clock before we got to the hut.
that makes sense. Yeah.
And,
right.
yeah, started putting a few things inside, grabbed the generator out. Primed it.
This is a brand new Jenny, and we've just pulled it out of the box and loaded it in the car to go on Friday.
Yeah.
So,
And all we've done is put fuel in it.
Yeah. So yeah, we rip out the Jenny after fueling it up. And it was a male to male coming out of there was a little extension lead that someone's sort of rigged up to come out of the hut. So we're like, sweet, we got this. It's going to work. Plug everything in. Go to start it. Josh is pulling the start. And it's just taking a long time. And I'm like, it's brand new. It should actually start. So we're double checking the choke and everything's sort of where it needs to be. And then we're all males here, so we don't actually read instructions until something doesn't work. So Caleb gave it a read and he's like, the first step is literally check and fill oil on first startup.
520 mil of oil is the first
But
step.
none of us thought of oil. Yeah.
Plus, I'm watching Josh like pull the cord, and the little light with a fucking oil can is flashing red on the front of this thing. I'm like, it's asking for oil. And then Josh is, I couldn't believe your suggestion. Surely it comes with oil in it.
no, I mean like in the box. Not in the machine.
You meant in the machine.
No, I mean like surely it comes with like a little thing of oil or whatever. I don't know.
If you're gonna put the oil in the box, you might as well put it in the machine.
I've realised this actually because we've had a Jenny before and we had to put the oil in the Jenny. So it was like
it didn't even cross my mind once. So
it didn't cross my mind, but we should have realised it because we'd done it before. But it was just one of those moments.
we pretty much gave up on that project instantly. So packed it up.
Yeah, put the fire on.
First night fail.
Went to bed after a few brewskis.
Some good beverages by the fire. Did enjoy that.
That was good.
Josh, of course, did his usual sleep on top of the fire.
Mate, I don't know why you don't like, bring out the mattress and sleep in front of the fire. You're weird.
Well,
You're out camping.
it was like a 3x5 room.
If all three of us would have fit in there, you're just making excuses.
I don't know why you want to spoon us.
Well, Couchy could have stayed in the other room because he snores. I heard you were snoring the night after, actually. I'm like, thank fuck he's not in here.
Fucking hell, it must have been loud because you're deaf.
No shit.
Bro, it's like a fucking Boeing 747 on full thrust.
I can deal, though, because I always fall asleep first. So Couchy snoring doesn't annoy me. If he fell asleep before me, then I'd be pissed. But both nights I was out before him and no dramas. And the only time I heard him snore was about 4:30 the second morning. And I'd woken up because I needed to piss, plus the alarm was about to go off. And he was snoring his head off. I'm like, well, this is no dramas. I've got to get up in 20 minutes.
Can't you just sleep on your belly and not snore?
Well, it can, but now I don't trust those mattresses. And I was just...
For what?
I don't know.
You're going to fall through the
Who the
mattress?
fuck wants to be face down in a mattress that's been slept on?
The communal mattresses that,
In your sleeping bag. Put your head on your sleeping bag.
I put my sleeping mat on top of the mattress I was sleeping on and slept in my sleeping bag.
Bro, you still probably have AIDS.
Well, less AIDS than you.
This is measuring fucking AIDS per mil.
Nah, it's
But that was a good first night at hunting. Actually, it was good. We didn't hunt, but it was good. Good first night to get out with you boys.
first night in deer camp. It's always nice.
Hmm.
The road trip's always fun. Like a bit of banter, a bit of tunes.
Couple of non-alcoholic beverages. Yeah, just start
It's,
singing along a bit.
It's hilarious how different the drive out is compared to the drive home. Like in comparison between the two moods.
See, I find one thing though. Caleb gets, I don't know whether it's shy guy or something, but when you're in the car, he's like, oh, I can't be too silly. I've got to compose myself a little bit. I've noticed that a lot, actually. And then I don't know if you do the same thing. You're like, oh, can't get too buck wild. I don't know.
I don't think I moderate myself just because Couch is around.
I don't think it's like you're
No.
knowingly doing it, but it does. It certainly is there. Feels like.
I think there's just 3 people, so there's less need to fill space.
I think, and the person in the back seat always misses out on the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
drove
sort of
on the
left out
way
of it a little
there.
bit.
I drove the way there, so I was kind of just more concentrating on driving because it was raining and dark, and
Yeah.
we're driving through fucking
Shit lights.
with fucking shit lights as well, and driving
Mhm.
through areas where it's notorious for roos just jumping out the fucking bushes onto the road. So I was sort of
Right. Or
whatever.
deer.
Yeah, or deer. So I was just paying attention. And on the way home, I was sitting in the back seat just fucking catching up on everything.
Oh, you were out cold at one stage on the way home.
Oh, and snoring. I do remember leaning over and then waking up with my mouth like wide open and I was snoring. Thank you for not doing anything with that. But yeah. It's
Yeah, so we had
You'll
I just want to
never
go
know.
through the argument we had about the sunrise. That night before, the first night, we had a conversation, we'll call it. You know how our conversations go.
Well, we argued about it on the podcast last
This-
week.
Oh, we did too. And we didn't really get anywhere with that. But we argued about it again. And it was luckily that we went the earlier. Because was it 7:30 it was classified as sunrise?
Yeah, 7:24 or something was sunrise, but you know that's when like the sun's up. It's going to be greying before that. But we got up at 5:20 to allow for us to have a coffee, get dressed, wake ourselves up, and then get out there.
And travel to a point where we started walking. Still dark, yeah. It was good timing actually.
It's kind of better to
Probably
be out
perfect time for
early than late.
Perfect
So,
first day, not so much on the second day because I had to walk to position in the complete fucking dark, and then the sun was just not. There was clouds, so it wasn't actually light till after 7. Like you couldn't even see.
Yeah, there's 2 overcast, yeah.
You couldn't see fuck all.
I couldn't see anything because I was in bed
Yeah, whatever.
having a fucking sleep in.
So we'll go through our first morning hunt. So that's Saturday morning. So obviously we get up at 5:20, have our coffees, move on, get out there, and then we get to a corner of the property where, not the property, but this is a corner of a tree line, and I'm just going to be following sort of Jacob's cues. That was my whole hunt, was just based on that. So we'll plan to split up at this point. I went straight over the fence. Caleb went right, but they obviously had plans to go in different spots. So
We did.
I swear I bumped an emu and a deer just over that first little rise, but it was that sort of light where you can only see shadows. And I'm like, well, that one looks like an emu, and I'm like, that doesn't look like an emu, the other one. So
Well, no, by the time we were in the corner of that scrub, man, as you were walking off, there was enough light because I spotted 2 deer moving through like a gap in the scrub line. As you were walking off, and I've looked at you and gone, oh, there's deer just in that gap. So there's enough light to see. With the two
Yeah,
things
like
you were...
Day 1, yes, there was.
Yeah, definitely. were the emu and or was it the deer that you saw over that first ridge, were they heading back into the scrub or just milling around?
No, I somewhat spooked him because I stopped because there was 3 kangaroos looking at me. So I waited. And I'm like, what do I do? Because they were in front of me where I wanted to go. So I didn't know which way to go. And then I noticed in the background there was another, it looked like to me an emu and a deer, but then it seems weird that they're hanging out. So I could be totally wrong.
Well, later that same day, I came across 2 emus in that spot or around that spot. So I reckon it was emus for sure.
Maybe it was 2 emus, yeah.
Which
Yeah.
are terrible to look at in like dull light because they look like deer from a distance. Because you just see this long, dark shape and you can't really see the 4 legs. Well, obviously, because there's only 2 of them. But they kind of look a bit they look deery in like greyish light from a distance.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was just pissed
But
off.
yeah, I was like, Mike,
No, they fucking do, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Because it's just a big body. I'm talking like a long way away in grey light until you get the binos out. Just to the naked eye, you're like, that's a fucking deer. More so than a roo because they're up off the ground. That's what makes it look like it's a deer because
it's a leg height,
roos
yeah.
you've got like a solid mass close to the ground, but this you've got like a big body mass higher up off the ground. You're like, oh, that's a deer.
Might get you some photos of deer and emus for you to study in between hunts. What?
In fading light, bro.
Never, ever, ever thought an emu was a deer. I've gone, okay, there's something over there. What is it? But never seen an emu and been like, oh, that's a deer.
No, I confirmed it wasn't a deer. I'm saying it made me think it was a deer. It just looked like it. It's way before, like a roo, you'd be like, that's a roo. But there's plenty of times, and don't fucking tell me otherwise.
Roos
Like,
definitely do it.
Correct.
if
100%. Yeah.
roos are chest at you, kind of leaning over, they kind of look like a deer looking at you.
Yeah.
Or square up at you
yeah, the ears aren't that different.
until they hop away.
Yeah.
Or they stand up.
You know
as
how,
soon as
like-
they stand up and get taller, like, it's a dead giveaway. Like, it's a roo.
You know how, like, dogs, if they lose their 2 front legs, they'll adapt and they'll start hopping around? What if a deer lost its 2 front legs and you're like, that's a fucking deer? And then it hops away. You're like, oh, it's a kangaroo. It's a weird looking kangaroo. No tail. What the fuck?
That would be called a queer.
A Kia. A Quick. Fucking you and your English.
But yeah, anyway, so we split up. I bumped those, we'll call them emus now. And I was in 2 minds just after this point because it was starting to sort of grey out and sort of, you know how it's not colour, but it's getting close to, and you know it. So I was like, do I keep pushing on to get to this point where Jacob suggested, because I was probably a little slower than what he suggested? Or do I wait out here, let the sun come up a little bit, and then press on? So I ended up sticking around for a bit, just waited for that sun to come up, because it's like, there's no point going through and bumping deer. I can just wait, and then the deer I could have bumped, I could get. So waited about, sun come up, there was nothing about. I waited for about 10, 15. Probably impatient. But cruised on. This spot was probably about, I'm going to say 900 meters away that I had to sort of wanted to get to. It was sort of a spot in the trees where it kind of overwatched another clump of trees, which is sort of on the next sort of little hill. So crossed the fence. As I crossed the fence, looked down to my left, and there was a clump of trees about 300 meters away. Then I see this deer, well, 2 of them, they took off from behind those trees. I'm guessing that sound of the wire spooked them. And this front deer was just like white. Had a little ginger through his back, but it was 90% white, I reckon. And I'm like, fuck, I love that deer. But so spooked them. I thought I'll just follow up because they were heading the way I wanted to go anyway. So I followed them up. I lost them. So I pressed on to the spot I was heading to. set up my rifle on a tripod, got cozy, and I only waited probably 15 minutes. And then these 3 deer just come feeding out of the bush about 160 meters in front of me. I'm like, sweet. It was what was it? Spiky 2 does. I really need to do my report for ADA. Spiky and 2 does. So, and then was lucky enough to get a shot on that front doe.
So you shot off your tripod?
Yeah, shot off the tripod. It was solid, man.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Because I took my 3-legged stool and took my tripod as well.
Yeah.
So I was comfy. I was ready to sit there for a while.
Man, I want to get
Yeah.
a deer kill on my tripod. Fuck.
That sounds like a comfortable day's hunting, morning's hunting.
It was, and it was quite simple, to be honest, compared to a lot of others. So, and then I texted you guys deer down, and you guys had no idea because I was shooting the opposite way, so I'm guessing you guys didn't hear it. So
you crossed the laneway. Did you cross?
Yeah, across that.
Yeah. Oh, so you were right down the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was back corner.
Mm.
So,
Front corner.
that's why I didn't hear me, and I was shooting the opposite direction. It's not like I was shooting towards you, kind of thing. The sound wouldn't carry as well. So
didn't even hear
and
it, man.
at that point, I figured, I'm like, because there's been times where we go to this property, and it just you get early chances, and it dies out. So I'm like, this could possibly be the only deer. The thought went through my mind: do I take a second deer if I had the option? Just because if I did shoot one bailed, the other one stuck around, do I shoot it? Because there's been plenty of hunts where we've gone and one of us got deer and none of us have, like the rest of it haven't. Or there hasn't been many times where we've all cleaned up.
This is true.
So
This is true.
It is true. It's a group effort.
but yeah, so text you guys, and then I guess that's probably the end of my story for now.
Well, I'll take it from here, from my point of view. So Josh and I cruised off opposite direction to you, and we stayed together initially, and we sort of knew where we wanted to go. There was some pop holes that we thought were going to be promising along a fence line. So I kind of knew where I wanted to go, and then Josh suggested he'd go down a bit further around a clump of trees. So I'm like, yep, no dramas. So we split up after a bit, and we sort of like indicated where we were going to be, so we didn't really shoot towards each other. And so basically I found a spot I thought looked promising, and where I knew these pop holes were, or a pop hole. And I was looking for a good spot to set myself up, and then I eventually found a good spot. I didn't have the luxury of a stool. I sat on the fucking wet grass and just sort of sat there glassing for a bit. But as I was sort of walking up to position, I looked up, and across the other side of this little depression up on the hill, there was just probably a metre wide gap in between some bushes, and there was 2 legs and a chest facing me. And I'm like, fuck, that's a deer. So I stopped, unslung my rifle, looked back up again, it was fucked off. I'm like, damn it. Anyway, well, it's like just shit me off, because I'm like, if I was in position 10 minutes earlier, that thing would have kept walking out. I'm like, whatever. I've actually probably moved it on towards Josh, so maybe he'll clean it up, whatever it is. And then I've sat there for ages, just watching, saw absolutely nothing else. And then till the point where you sent the message through saying deer down, I'm like, fuck, here we go. Didn't hear anything. You're bullshitting. And you were like, no, I saw a few. And one down. I'm like, oh, well, good on him. I've seen nothing yet. And then I thought, stuff it. Maybe I'll just go for a bit of a wander. So I stood up and started walking away from where Josh had said he was going to be. And then, I kept walking for a bit, and then I heard a shot. And I'm like, fuck, that was Josh, because that didn't sound too far away at all. And then send the message, what's going on? And then eventually, that's when
Josh, your turn.
You'd had to go. So you could probably pick it up from here, Josh, on your adventure once we split up.
Well, first things first, I want to say one thing, right? I was pretty keen, like the week prior, and in my plan, how to hunt this property was to do exactly what you were going to do, Shannon, but not go as far. Basically,
As
just
far,
go to
yeah.
the tanks because I'd seen some fallow bucks a month or so earlier in a certain area. So I was like, oh, that's where I'd like to go. But when you said,
So do you say
were-
I'm actually half
Well,
responsible
no,
for your?
this is what I'm trying to
hunt that
say.
morning?
is all the stars needed to fucking align for this to happen, right? And we'll get to what happened eventually. Anyway, you said you wanted to go there, so I was like, oh, you know what, you go do it. Like, I've shot a deer this year, like, have an opportunity, cool. And I'll just mill around. And Caleb and I had sort of figured out our plan, and he was going to stop at the first bolt hole, and then I'll move to the second one for a little while. I actually thought you wanted to go further away, not closer. So I actually felt like I was taking your spot. Because we have had this conversation and you really weren't saying much, and I'm like, oh, just sit on your bolt hole there and I'll go to the next one.
No, where I was is where I wanted to be because that's
Right. So I feel good there.
no, that's fine. That's a bolt hole where three. I was talking about a few episodes ago where three popped out and I had three lined up, three does,
Mm.
and that was basically there's like a bit of a valley all funneling in towards this pop hole through to the thick stuff. So I'm like, well, that's a good spot. If they're all moving through there, they're going to come in and out. I can set myself up out of sight and just fucking watch. So I was where I wanted to be.
All right. Well, that makes me feel or have a bit of comfort in my decision to go further. So I ended up going, or originally the plan was to go to the next pop hole and sit and wait. Anyway, on my way there, because I had surgery a week ago, I was a bit sore. So I'd spooked two deer, and they had gone into the scrub. And I'd gone, so I sort of like pushed a little bit further on from the pothole where I wanted to sit. And I was sore, so I sat down in this tree, like in this clump of trees. I was just like, oh, fuck it, I need a rest. Sat down. Next thing you know, 12 fallow just come bolting out. Did you press something?
I
You're
did
setting
not.
the mood.
Someone's gonna have to fix that light.
I fixed it today. I took it apart and put it back together. There's nothing
Clearly
wrong with
not.
it. There's nothing wrong with it. Keep telling your story.
Anyway,
Jesus.
so
Blackout.
12 deer. So I'm sitting down and like sort of glassing and figuring out in my head what I'm going to do. And 12 deer get up from the clump of trees that I'm sitting in and just piss bolt. Just absolutely like piss bolt towards Caleb. And although I thought in my head, oh, cool, that's my sort of morning blown, though I'll at least scare him off to Caleb and he might get a shot. So we had sort of a similar thinking there, Caleb, when we were scaring the deer. That thing is really pissing me off.
Sorry, people listening, the ring light is going nuts because Caleb's trying to fix it. So it's off and on.
If anyone has a spare ring light out there, send it through. Because we're too much of tight asses to get a new one.
And no, Cody, not your ring light. All right.
Keep talking.
I'll wait till you're back because it's pissing me off.
It's good. We're good to go. Woo!
You good?
Was it
Un-
live?
Sweet.
Until the next failure. This is why we don't need fucking lives, mate.
This
This is
way
every
too
episode now, so we need to fix it.
That light is as much as part of this podcast as we are.
It's going to be as much as
And-
Ryan was. Sorry. That was harsh.
Fuck, you
moving on.
just
What do we got?
love burning people during lives, don't you, Josh?
Anyway,
So
so
these deer piss bolted.
these deer are scared, and they sort of headed towards Caleb. So I was like, whatever. Oh, I might go for a bit of a wander and just walk some scrub lines and see what I can come up with. Anyway, so I've walked a couple 100 meters away. Next minute, I hear antlers just thrashing together. Like, just, I'm like, it just, at first I was like, nah, surely not. Not this time of the
And for
year.
anyone like listening to this like this late, it's like the end of June.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just for the late comers on this episode.
Yeah. So I'm hearing this thrashing in this valley just across from me, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go for a walk and check this out. So I got up and I walked over to the sound. I sort of come to the crest of this valley and realised that the sound was coming somewhere from this bowl or this valley. So I just started glassing it. And naturally I start like the furthest point away because you can sort of see like everything in between if you're starting far and then working near. So I'm starting the very, very back scrub line, just trying to search for these deer. Completely overlooked a wallow. Like didn't even see it. Didn't see it with my naked eye. It was obvious as well. I'm like, Anyway, like searching. I keep hearing the sound. Next thing you know, these two red stags had just come out from behind a tree, just fighting. And at this point, I'd like to think I like went into full slick mode, but nah, man. My nerves started getting to me. My heart started pounding. I was like, oh shit, there's two red stags fighting over there. All right. I thought to myself, all right, I need to get a look at them because I wasn't going to take anything less than a 10 because I got a 10. So I was after a trophy. So I jumped down underneath the rifle, have a look at them, and one I could see
Underneath, yeah.
Underneath.
got right in
That's
there.
thrown me.
behind. Okay. Yeah, no, I was doing like
He's
fucking...
spooning the rifle here.
He laid on his back.
Yeah.
Upside down try.
Mate, you got to take whatever position you can get on these things, to be honest.
Totally your sex tape.
So I've looked across and one seemed quite small. He was like max 10. I have a looking at a photo. I think he might have been an 8, actually. The larger one was a 11-pointer, and I was like, oh, I'd love the meats first, but I love the trophy, but he's not really that big enough for me to take. I thought, and then in my head I started
So
thinking
you
that it was
said,
too far.
I just want to stop you. So you set your limit. You've got to be larger than a 10. Then you saw an 11, which is larger than 10, and you're like, not big enough.
Yes, well, come on, man. That's not really. It didn't like grab you by the stomach berries and just sort of like rattle your cage. It just didn't do it, man. It just like
Just didn't grab you by the plums.
No, yeah, it didn't grab me by the plums. So I was like, oh, whatever. And then I started questioning in my head. It looked too far for my ability to shoot confidently, I should say, at a live animal. And I'm like, nah, all right, I'll LRF it. Because, like, I got my LRF, and at this point, it didn't even cross my mind to range them up until this point. So anyway, I've sat on my knees to rip out my LRF, and I've just unzipped it, like, real violently, just not even thinking that there's deer in front of me, and pulled it out. And by the time I've got the LRF to my head, both of the stags fighting are looking at me, like directly at me, man. I'm like, fucking hell, here we go. So I just sort of wait a moment, and they sort of calm down a little bit. You can see in their mannerisms, like, all right, they're not quite as alert as what they were a second ago. LRF'd it, and it was only 240. And I was like, okay, it looks way further than that, but cool. That's within my wheelhouse. So I put my LRF away, and sort of like somewhere in this phase of what happened, I saw the rear hind of another deer behind this tree. And I'm like, oh. So I'll get back behind the rifle and have a look at it. I'm like, get back behind the rifle, start dialing my dope just in case it's, something worthy to shoot at. And next thing you know, he's turned around because he was sort of like arse about in the opening, and he's turned around and I've just seen his antlers. And I'm like, shit, he's got 3 on each side as a minimum. Like I could see like crowns on each side. I'm like, boom. Straight away, I'm looking at like, 12 points pretty easily. So I'm like, yeah, all right, that's a trophy. Because when do you get to see like at least a 12-pointer on ADA land? Like hardly ever.
Yeah,
now.
especially there, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. I'd sort of like adjusted my dope at this stage already, or started to, because I knew roughly where it was. And I flicked on my phone like in a real mad rush to try and just double check it. And I'm like, okay, 0.6. It's 0.68, but I just went to 0.6. I'm like, that'll do. Get behind my rifle, and he sort of stood out, like just come fully clear of this tree. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take him. He looks solid. He looks, he's the best one out of the three. Cool. Suddenly then it all just come into play. Like I was dead set, so still. I didn't think I was going to be this still. You know when you get behind a rifle and you're nervous as hell and you're just like, oh man, why can't I just like be still? Nah, it was just all still. Like everything felt good. And as he stepped out, I'm just waiting for his leg to come forward to open up on the broadside shot a little bit. And instead of like just putting his leg out and stopping, he's put his leg out and twisted and started turning around. So I'm seeing my window of like my shot opportunity sort of like just narrow to where he was quartering away. I'm like, nah, it's now or never. So I started squeezing. Next minute, bang. I'm like, okay, felt good. Shot looked good. Sound good. I could see blood from the entry point. And then he disappeared behind the tree. Both of the other two stags hadn't moved. Didn't care. Like they were just kept fighting and carrying on and everything. So I was like, wow, this is amazing because I haven't blown out this area after that first shot. Cool. But I couldn't see my stag go down. So I'm like, all right, I've got to get up and move a little bit to the left to see where he is behind the tree. So I've got up, shimmied across, like probably about 10-metre gap to another tree line, put my binos up real slowly, and I've seen my stag drop. I'm like, okay, cool. Next thing you notice, I've seen a few more deer there, and I'm like, oh, well, a couple fellows. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll get Caleb and see if he wants to come down and shoot a fellow. Because nothing had blown out. It was sort of surreal that nothing had moved. So I've gone back to my gun, put my binos down, and then messaged Caleb. I'm like, hey, dude, I've got some couple deer in like this valley. How far away are you, pretty much? And as I'm doing this, I'm like, all right, I'll leave everything and just double back to where he was and go get him and bring him here because I need a hand anyway. So even if he doesn't get anything, I need a hand getting this deer out.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, I've got back to you, Caleb.
Well, the easiest reference point was just come down the fence line, which I was going to be roughly on. So you went back to that fence line, just said beeline it this direction along that fence. So I've grabbed my rifle and just started legging it towards you. And yeah, you look pretty fucking happy with yourself. And just quietly,
shock,
this
man.
whole fucking description you've laid out of all the fucking time and adjustments and bullshit has just fucked me right off, as the listeners will find out in a second. So, yeah, good on you for thinking of me again and getting me up for a fallow, because I cannot shoot antlered deer on ADA yet because I didn't get enough points. So I'm does. That's it.
Just meat, yeah.
Just meat animals.
Meat, and fawns.
And fawns,
You
yeah.
can be a baby killer. Yeah.
Compulsory anyway. But so I'm like, well, cool. Josh is getting me up there. So went up, met with him, and he's just like, oh, dude, I think I've just fucking shot this massive fucking red. Well, you had. Anyway, good on you. So you took me to the spot, well, ushered me back to where your rifle was set up and said, look, they're down there. They're not, we couldn't see them then. He's like, mine's down there behind that tree or around where that tree is. Just go down there. You have to be hell slow. Just go down there. You'll find the deer that I don't think they've moved off. They didn't seem phased by my shot. So I'm like, sick. I'm just going to stalk down there and get myself a meat deer. So I did just that. Stalked down, hell slow, and then I'm like, fucking, I think this is around where he said I'd go past his deer that he just shot. I'm like, I haven't fucking seen anything. I'm like, where is it? So I sort of was just standing there waiting, and I'm like, I'm seeing nothing, absolutely nothing. So I whipped my phone out. I'm like, bro, I'm not seeing anything and I haven't passed yours. And then looked up, of course, what's fucking standing there looking at me by this stage? Too fallow. I'm like, God damn it. So I've slipped the phone back in the pocket, nice and easy. My rifle was already unslung. Well, not slung. I was going with a hyperpod again, testing that thing out. So I've been rocking around with that sort of extended out to a reasonable length and then just sort of use it like a sling over my shoulder. So I already had that out. So I've just taken a knee to be able to take this shot and they just fucked off. And I'm like, damn it. And they've just headed towards a high fence, just beelined it. So I'm like, well, I can't get a shot on them again because there's fucking all these trees and shit on the way. So I just sort of went towards them. But they didn't want to jump this high fence. They were sort of just standing there like looking at it. So I'm like, fuck, I can probably get a shot off if they're just going to stand there and they don't want to jump this fence. So I've kind of not ran by this stage, but sort of hurried over to try and get another shot at them. But then they just started pissing off down this fence line. So I'm like, I've got no choice here. I've got to run after him. I'm going to do a Ryan. I'm going to fucking chase deer.
It's a second mention.
And I normally wouldn't fucking bother. Like once something just runs away, I'm like, oh, well, move on to the next thing. But I'm a bit frustrated not having, well, I wanted to get some meat and I knew you two had already got something. So I'm like, I fucking don't want to be the odd one out here. So I started running after these deer and they
You're always the odd one out.
Nah. I was like, fuck, this is annoying. So run after him. And then they sort of bailed up for a bit at the fence, motioning like they wanted to jump over it, but they weren't confident. So I've taken a knee, and no sooner had I done that, they're just fucking off again. So we're running again. Okay, I'm back after you. And because it's rolling hills, I couldn't just sort of hang back because, like, they're piss bolting. I've got to chase them, at least get to the crest of the next sort of hill to be able to see where the fuck they're going. So I'm running after them, and then they eventually got to near the corner of this paddock that we're in before you get to the thick stuff. And I'm like, yes, they're slowing down. So I've taken a knee again. They're probably about 150 away from me. So I was sprinting at this stage because just, fucking the adrenaline.
So walking briskly for most people.
No, actual.
It was a quick waddle.
Actual running. I can say, like, I know I'm not the quickest, but fucking I was actually running.
You'd have a wide gait with your run. Hey, your cars would be like going like in a half circle.
I got up to some speed, all right? I was actually doing all right because there's some adrenaline pumping, and even for me, I was moving, all right? Shut the fuck up.
He was floating.
I was moving. Anyway, so they've sort of slowed up a little bit. I'm like, fuck yeah. Took a knee again, got him in the scope, lined him up, and they just started fucking moving again. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take a shot on the move here because I want to fucking meet deer. Took the shot. The one I was aiming at sort of like kicked up and fucking, I thought, fuck, maybe I got him, maybe I didn't. Wasn't sure. I've just been sprinting and like, I wouldn't say it was the stillest shot and they're on the move. Not my usual way of operating, but on this occasion, I'm like, fuck, I need to get a deer down. And then because they were sort of nearly at the crest of a hill again, they've both run off. And I'm like, well, I better go after him again. Run after him again. Can't see him. Once I got to the crest of that hill, they're gone. So I'm like, well, they've both jumped off and gone into the thick stuff. What do I do? Well, I just keep following them. Then I was following tracks along there. And then I'm like, well, I reckon I've missed. Clear miss. Because I looked around, there's fucking no a sign of blood anywhere. So I reckon just with my breathing after running up and down, I've just aimed off or above or below. Just clear miss. And you told me later, you heard a thud, you thought it sounded good.
Yeah, like immediately, man, because I was hanging back to where I'd shot, like waiting for you, because I couldn't see when you had gone off for your stalk. I couldn't see you. So I was just hanging back. I hadn't even gone to my deer at this stage. But when I heard the thud, I was like, nah, yeah, that's deer down. Like, it sounded solid.
Sounded did, but on reflection, I reckon it was just bullet thudding into muddy hillside.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and by this stage, I'm like following tracks back along towards the hut. And then Josh called for the cart because we have to recover the deer in a cart in this property. So I'm like, well, I'm fucking
Just like you had your chance.
I'm fucking halfway back there. I may as well go get the fucking cart. So, yep, I went back to the cart and grabbed that, walked back along, sort of retraced the steps, looking for any blood, nothing. And then, lobbed up to you with the cart to help you fucking load this thing on the.
Yeah, this monster fucking red.
As I'm
It
rolling
was
up,
decent red.
yeah, fuck. As I'm rolling up to you, you're covered in blood. Like your sleeves are up, you've got blood on you, and I've looked at the ground and you dragged this thing. I'm like, what? How? Why? And you're
Get
like,
out of the
I'm
sun.
like, oh, get out of the sun. You wanted to gut it in the shade,
Yeah.
and I don't know how long it took.
Not for the deer's sake. Just for his sake.
No, for
Yeah.
the meat. Because
Sure it was.
it's probably half an hour, sort of like when I was hanging back and got to the deer, it'd been like half an hour or so. It'd been a while. So I was like, oh, I'll just get out the shade so guts don't spoil the meat. And then I'll just get the guts out to try and get it cool as quick as possible. So yeah, just did that, just dragged it into the shade. It wasn't that far. It hurt, but especially trying to do it after surgery, it hurt. But yeah, that was my thinking. I full thought that you would put some meat on the ground, man. Like I was sitting there going, surely, because I hadn't heard anything for the longest time after you shot as well, like via text. I'm like, no, you're good.
It's fucking bitter.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why.
the reception ran out at the gate before going into the thick stuff. So once I was over
that's
there, that's where the reception ran out. So, and then you get like a sporadic, tiny little spot. So I got that little tiny sporadic spot like halfway from that gate back to the hut, and you were calling for the cart. So I'm like, well, I'll just go get it.
Well, I was actually what I thought Couchy at this stage was back at camp or at his car at least. So I'm like, oh, can you bring the cart down? Not thinking he was closer than you.
Because mine and your shot was probably about 2 minutes apart, I reckon.
Nah.
It wasn't that much different.
No, it was ages.
You didn't hear my shot.
No, from when I got a text from you.
Yeah, but I don't think you'll see all that chat until after you shot it.
Oh, maybe it was the reception. Maybe I just didn't get the reception until I was sort of out in that little valley bit.
Because, yeah, it was quite close.
I thought it was
Anyway.
further away, and I thought you were closer. I didn't think you had gone past that.
Anyway, you called me asking if I can get the cart. And I'm like, man, I'm like 1,600 meters past you and I'm still out there. You get the cart. Keys are in the car. You do it. But I think at that point I want to just go through because the pack I've got is a Commander X Outdoor Z. So it has a removable frame and it has a meat shelf on that. And each time I've shot a deer, I've been quite close to a track or something like that. That it doesn't really require packing it out. We just chuck it on a stick and carry it. Because there's generally us three or there's multiple people. But this time I was by myself. So I'm like, sweet, I actually get to try this pack out properly. So in the process of all this, I realized all I had was the, what's the knife called? It's only got the snub nose. It doesn't actually have a point. It's like a gut
FD.
knife.
Hefty.
Yeah, the FDIC knife. That was the only knife I had. And I'm like, all right, well, it's the only option I have. So I ended up gutting this deer out. And I'm like, I've got to shed weight off this thing. So took it off from like the base of the neck as well. And then what else did I do? There was something else. Obviously, yeah, gutting it and cutting through the pelvis and all that, all with this one knife. And it performed pretty well. But yeah, so I set this pack up and it just opens up it's like a fold of fabric and it clips onto the frame. So I just opened it up, laid it on the deer because I had him sort of on his back, laid him on, rolled the thing over, and then clipped him in. Luckily, it wasn't the biggest fellow because that probably wouldn't work. So he was probably max size that I want to use in that pack. But it was whole deer strapped onto my back, and to be honest, it was quite comfortable.
No back
So,
pain.
but I had
No back pain.
no back pain. I lost like feeling in my arms for a while, but that's just blood. That's just blood flow. Like I'm kind
So
of used to that.
you haven't set up your load lifters correctly if you're getting.
Oh, probably. I think you tell me that every hunt,
Yeah.
but and I'll continue ignoring it.
No, that's fine. Continue fucking packing with numb arms. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I did notice when I was halfway through that walk, that the weight was on the shoulders, not on the hips. But I find if I put too much weight on my hips, maybe the positioning's wrong, but I start getting shooting pains down my leg.
That's weird.
That's the sciatica, I think, which is just called getting
So-
old. But
And
when you do
that's
your,
just more painful than losing my feeling my arms. That's fine.
when you do your pack up, you know you're supposed to do your waistband first, and then your shoulder straps, and then clip it together, like the little middle clip.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that's
Anyway,
the
that
sequence of
wasn't-
order is waistband,
Yeah.
like shoulder straps. Do you do it that way?
No.
No.
I did.
Shoulder straps.
No, I would have because I lied down. The deer was on the ground with the pack on, so I just laid down on it. Yeah, I would have. I would have done. I couldn't get the middle strap on because of my bino harness and stuff. That's in the wrong spot. So yeah, I did waistband and then tighten straps. I think but I didn't. I haven't fiddled with the load lifters either, so that's probably half the issue.
Yeah.
So
You got to change that,
but yeah,
man,
so-
if, like, by next Vic trip.
I'll just power through it. Anyway, so I was walking down, and I had a 1.6, 1.7K walk to the car, which is not huge because it's pretty good terrain. But the one issue I had when I was walking there, I'm like, I was checking my phone as I go. Well, the other issue wasn't wearing a belt for my pants. That was annoying. Anyway, so I had a gate on the first fence to get to the alleyway, and then going by the maps, there was a gate about 400 meters up the road to my left. So I went to that. There was a gate, and it was already open. It was sweet. I just walked straight through that. But the fence line that is against the bush, there's no gate at the corner where we crossed. The only gate is out where Caleb had his shot, which is probably about 2K down the fence line. But my car was only about a K down the other fence line where I was kind of near that corner. And I'm like, how the fuck do I get this deer over the fence? Because I couldn't be fucked lifting it. By that time, my arms were sort of like, not sore, but they were fucking numb. But as I was walking up, I just walked up to a fence post, perched it up on a fence post, and just unstrapped my pack and just let it fall over. It worked super easy. It was good.
Tender.
But I rate that pack, to be honest. Just the ability to remove the actual pack itself and just walk out with a meat frame.
Yeah.
Pretty handy.
Yeah, if you want to pack, shoot small deer, yeah, it's a good pack to go for.
When we hung your red up, I was looking at it. I'm like, I'll be able to get the rear half in the pack. So you'd probably halve or thirds your red to pack that out.
I reckon you'd have to fucking break the whole
Halves
thing
would be a
down.
struggle. Yeah, you break it down, but like to just like pack it out.
He was a
Just you
small
pack it out, you're
body
breaking down
red
parts.
as well. So, or you think Sam behind. When we packed out that Sam behind, I think it was like the one rear hind was ridiculous. Like it felt like it was 40 odd kilos.
Super heavy, man.
And just mass, like very, very big, took up a lot of space.
It did.
So that red wasn't as big, but still fairly big. I think
Yeah.
I'd sit with Couchy on this. You could do half and half. You could. You'd make it work.
Oh, you could.
You'd be pushing it, but yeah.
You'd still be sore though. Like that's a lot of weight to carry. It doesn't matter what your pack is.
But then again, it's like, am I going to be better off being sore after 2 walks or spending that time and pain on the 3rd walk?
No, it's like shopping from the car. No man ever wants
yeah.
to go back twice to the damn boot. You're putting every single bag on both your arms and walking inside.
Imagine my dismay.
And the only reason
grabbing the cart for you and walking it back to you, and then walking back to the hut with you and the cart,
So that's not.
and then walking back out there to retrace my steps later in the day.
But that's not
Yeah.
a me issue. It's like a you issue. Like I don't care.
You fucked that up. Sounds like an issue, not an ish me, Josh.
No, thank you very much, man, for getting.
That's
the
fine. I was fucking halfway back there for the cart. I may as well. And let's be honest, the cart made it so much easier. As hard as it was to get the thing on there,
No, that was fucked.
I'm glad I grabbed some rope when I was back at the hut. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'll just grab it. Like I just thought maybe it would come in handy, and it did because we put this thing in the cart and it just wanted to flop out, and the antlers wanted to drag on the ground, so we tied it all down. And it just we'll have to chuck a video up of Josh wheeling this cart with a fucking 13-point red deer in it. But it was handy. But is this why you had sore knees?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I had a week off of doing pretty much anything because of surgery. And I don't know, it was just that, like, first big, exercise back. My knees are bad as it is, so it just made it 10 times worse. Don't try and allude to some sexual innuendo about my knees hurting when I just shot a 13-point buck.
I mean, you had to thank me for fucking bringing you the cart somehow.
That's why you guys took forever. That makes sense.
Nah. It was, yeah. I was proud. Fuck, that sounds.
Did
fucking,
you just say you were proud of me?
I was going to say I was
You-
proud of you.
Oh, shit, son.
Like, Caleb, you got to edit that one bit and that's it.
Hey, can't, it's live. You weren't proud. You were like, fuck you.
I was happy for you. I'm
You
glad
really-
you had achieved a 13-point
Oi,
red.
dead set. Not many people get to see reds of that size on ADA.
Oh, definitely not an 88, no. But
Like,
This is where you get them people that have, and they send the photos like, this is a 16.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You got a fucking tic tac compared to fucking us.
yeah.
also,
But the 13, to me, man, and the reason why I took it was, so a couple of things went through my head was, is he a trophy to me? Yes. Am I happy not to shoot reds for the allocated time? Yes. Will he be there next week? No. The chopper culls and everything going on down there, I'm like, well, chances are they could just shoot him and leave him. And you know what? Nah, stuff
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna have the enjoyment because it's hard enough to see one, let alone see one and shoot it and everything work. It's bigger than that. That thing's a tiny.
that was my comment was I reckon it was similar to the 13-point casties we've got on the desk.
It's the same points.
It is exactly.
no.
13 point.
So
a
that
13 point,
that
Josh.
side's very similar, except that like where it kicks back, it's a little bit fucking wonky on mine, and this one goes on to its 4 points, and it sort of
Yeah, but
gets thicker here.
No, yeah,
there's
that's
no,
smaller,
there's no
but yeah,
double on
it's
the-
still a 13-point red.
yeah, but it's bigger.
It's
It's
still a
longer,
13-point red.
Yeah, yours is thicker,
longer and thicker.
longer and thicker. All right. I just wanted to have a look.
For the only time ever.
It was the point I made. It's I do want to put
Cashy, why don't you shoot someone with antlers, mate? All right.
I do want to put your
Yeah, one day.
red inside my fallow though.
So is that one of these
should've-
sexual fucking innuendos again? Here we go.
Josh, yeah.
He's trying to whip out the dick measuring contest. It is nice.
I just want to see if it
close.
goes inside it or not.
No, that fellow's way wider and longer, man. That fellow is ridiculous. How wide
Can
it
we-
is.
Next time you see an antler animal, Josh, because he can't shoot those, can you call me?
Fuck that. We won't be on ADA next time that happens, and I'm just gonna do it.
Hang on, isn't it who sees him gets it? So if I see him, I can take him.
Yeah, fair play.
No,
to
you-
mate.
Well, no.
Catch is like, oh no, no. I'll give you a call. I only called Caleb because he was closer. You were like ages away.
And I
in
shot a
my
deer
mind.
already, I guess.
Yeah, and you shot a deer. So I was like, oh, there's a couple fallow kicking around. I'll just run down and go grab Caleb and see if he wants to take one.
I would have been happy to have a red and a fallow, and you have a red, and then Caleb has nothing. Fine.
Well, you got 50% there.
Have you shot a? Yeah. Did you find that as a dead head, Caleb? I'm surprised you hit it.
What?
The deer.
You moose.
What are you talking about?
Did you find?
Wondering if you actually
moose?
shot it or not. Was it a dead head? And you're like,
Jesus Christ.
I shot it.
There's plenty of photos with me after I just shot it, mate.
Everyone goes through
Yeah,
goes through the whole slump of missing or everything just fucking up on the hunt, and you just get frustrated. And then it's such a long time between a hit or your last sort of shot and hit. You get even more frustrated, and you go through almost these dry spells. You do. Every hunter does it.
I'm in a rut, but not the good kind. A slump.
And it almost makes you want to you question why you're a shooter or a hunter. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah. And it gets worse. If you let it play out in your head, it just snowballs. You just fuck it up even more in the next time.
No,
but it was a good weekend actually. We produced the goods.
no, it really was. We had good fun. It's always good being out there and getting amongst it and then processing all the meat. I actually really enjoy that part of it, getting the fucking Recipro out and cutting everything up and skinning and processing meat.
Oh yeah, because these two, fucking Caleb and Josh, processing the Josh's red. I don't think Josh did much by himself, to be honest. And then
It's about 10
admittedly, my
times the
fellow's
size of your
half
fellow.
the size. Half the size. But I feel like if you can't deal with it, you shouldn't shoot it.
I could have dealt with it.
That's fair.
That's fine. That's fine. I could have dealt with it. Well,
No.
you're definitely not getting a phone call from the next animal I see, and you're not getting any mints now. So,
All right, Caleb will hook me up. Wait, Caleb.
Yeah, sure.
nah, I'll give you some mints, man. Nah,
So me working in Brisbane and being away from home all the time, Caleb took my fellow.
Yep.
So
No, that's
no
all,
point me taking meat.
it's all cut up in the freezer now. Beautiful.
you did smash it out, man. You fellow, you certainly did smash it out. And actually, there's someone else I want to thank. Thanks very much, our good mate Hainsey. Go check him out on Instagram. I went down and he minced up, and him and I minced up a whole bunch of the hind legs of the red last night. Actually, so it was a long night.
Knees are sore again.
Fucking hell!
How do you expect
Yeah.
him to get those casings?
I was going to give you some of his fucking cabana that he Well, no, you just can't do it.
Keep your
No,
cabana to yourself, mate.
I will.
It is nice having some fucking deer in the freezer again, though. That's why we set out there, and we achieved that at least by
Some of us
by
achieved it.
proxy, not necessarily by shooting the thing myself. But thanks, Couchy, for working away and passing it on.
Look, next time we go out,
You just got
man,
to bag meat.
I'm going to leave the gun at home and I'm just going to walk around or just walk behind you and just follow you and until you've put something on the ground.
No, don't. You'll make me nervous.
Oh, fuck
Performance
that.
anxiety.
Well, clearly I do.
No.
Because it's been a couple times now when it's been you and me and it hasn't gone right.
I think you're the problem.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
I'll
come
just-
on with it.
no, you can't say that because I slept in the night after. How many did or the day after, how many did you see?
Yeah, well, I went out the afternoon of when you shot your red, and I didn't expect to see anything else around where you'd shot. But I'm like, well, I'll fucking take the opportunity. I'll walk the entire property, the boundary off, because I kind of had to because of the wind. Anyway, so I couldn't be in the guts of the property. I would have just winded everything. I ended up seeing some fallow like in the distance, like 600 meters away. I'm like, oh, I'll go up to see if I can get one of them. By the time I'd followed them up and got to where I thought they were going to sort of roughly be, I'm like, fuck, where'd they go? Like, they're just gone. Next thing I know, I'm looking at these cows on the hillside, and then what runs out from fucking behind the trees is these fallow, and the cows start running as well. I'm like, fuck, I can't shoot anything here. I got cows behind fallow just running. I'm like, it's not my day. Not my day, whatever. So I'm like, oh, there's tomorrow morning. So I got up again tomorrow morning. You slept in. Couch is like, I might come out. Jeez, it's fucking cold. I'll go out.
Yeah, I'm an alarm. I flipped about 5 times.
Yeah, you were fucking, flipping. Anyway, gone out, went back to where you shot your red, sat there for a while, went through the middle of the property, sat in about 3 different spots. I put in, when did I leave? Fucking about 6, got back 10:30 to camp. I'm like, well, I've given it a crack. I haven't seen a fucking thing today. But I'll get back to camp and these boys will have got their hands dirty and got into processing these deer and cutting them up. And I get back there and you boys are fucking looking at them just about to start. I'm like, God damn it. I thought I was going to at least fucking get out of some of this. But no, 3-way effort carving them up.
Bro, I had a lovely
It turns
morning.
out like it is handy when you got someone there to hold pressure on like the body from not turning
Yeah.
when you're skinning.
Just
So,
helping
come
as
in.
well. Like you on one side, Cape, and another person on the other. Like it just goes quickly. Well, it really does go quickly, and it makes a tedious process.
It was actually
quick.
it was nerve wracking taping that thing out. Your cape, and I'm doing one side, and I'm like, it's just knife strikes like fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, we were playing tummy sticks
So-
on stage with the knives around the neck. Like,
I should have stabbed it. I should have just perforated the hole, just
yeah, thanks. Yeah.
just out of jealousy. Nah, I wouldn't do that.
It is going to be mounted, and I am going to be quite proud of it for a long, long time. Forever.
All right, I'll shoot a 14.
See, that would piss me. You know what? I'd be fine if you shot an 18. I'd be like, yeah. But if you shot a 14, I'd be like, nah, go fuck yourself. You've just done 1 point more.
I parked up the 18 so I could shoot the 14.
It would piss me off so much. I'd be like, oh, not that it matters. Like, who cares? It's about the experience and the hunt itself. But yeah, that would certainly piss me off more because I'd know you'd just do it to spite. That's all.
If you guys had to guess, how many kilos of meat would have come off those two?
I can tell you how many kilos of mince
That's
were made from the
Fucking
hinds.
heavy. That's not what the question I asked, man. How many kilos of mince did you make? Because that was mixed with pork fat, yeah?
Yeah, so we did 46 kilos.
So it doesn't matter.
Holy Jesus.
So you had 20.
No, it wasn't no pork, just straight grind. Sorry.
The rear hinds were 46.
That's what we got off of them, yeah.
Christ.
I underestimated this weight totally. So therefore, your total red would have been probably 85, 90,
Of meat or weight?
Dressed,
maybe a little
yeah.
less. Meat.
Yeah, dressed, yeah, probably.
A lot of
Yeah.
meat.
Oh, so it probably got it was probably 120, 130 kilos of meat. I dare say the fellow wouldn't have been a huge amount. Would have been your hinds.
How much do you think you got out of it? Because you've diced it all up or staked it or roast.
Combination of all. So actually, I put the weights on all of it too.
What was the averages?
But I was just going. I was making up like 500 gram bags of like diced. There's a couple of like kilo roasts that I did. There's like a bone-in roast. Yeah, by the time it actually wasn't a huge amount by the time I was done.
No, yeah.
But we didn't take
So, yeah,
we
just
didn't
like-
take as much off of that. There's a bit more meat that was spoiled on the fallow than there was the rib.
Oh, the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just destroyed the shoulder.
So one less leg.
I actually didn't wait for it to step forward. It just fucking, I went straight through the shoulder.
Oh, it's a
I'll
fallow.
be waiting for it to step forward next time.
It's a fallow. You kind of, you're good with a fallow, but larger animal, you got to be a bit more particular. I think.
Just need them to like slightly quarter away from you. So you can go, behind the leg and it goes through the front of the chest, doesn't hit any leg.
Yeah, but then you worry about only hitting one lung. So there's the issue.
No, like you don't want a full 45 degrees. You just want a little bit.
Yeah,
So you
that's
still-
slight. Yeah, so you can almost like pop a Mickey into that crease of that shoulder.
So you still get your double heart lung or double lung heart.
Yeah.
So
I was high on him,
just to
like heaps high actually. I missed his heart completely. I just got lung. Because you remember the heart,
Yeah,
while we pulled the heart out and it was fine. Did you have a look at it?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted me to eat the thing. I'm like, no, thanks.
No, well, I pulled it out so we could eat it. And then when we were getting the red out of the trolley, it fell on the ground. I'm like, nah, screw it.
Oh, still good fun. We got a heap of meat. And even though I didn't get anything myself, it was still good fun being out there, being part of it all and helping out. And
You're pulling the trigger next time, man. You're putting fucking meat on the table. We'll do
And then he sees a 14-point red. He's like, no, I've got it.
no, I'm skipping to 18.
it. You just want to be the man that's known for shooting big bucks.
Go hard.
You
go
want
home.
to take big bucks, don't you? Yeah, that's all you want.
Are you trying to
Just big
work
bucks.
some fucking innuendo?
No,
in here,
it's
or you
it's
just-
worked in there, mate.
No, you're fucking
Yeah.
shoehorning it in.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit, bro.
Nope.
Like, no, terrible.
Oh, it's fitting. It's
Anyway,
quite loose too.
we'll fucking shut up. We'll put some videos up on the gram this week of the cart,
Mhm.
the fucking the red deer itself that Josh got. Maybe a funny video,
Just
maybe a
just bit of
funny
everything.
video,
Bit of everything.
bit of a fucking mirth, bit of fucking hilarity from you, Josh. A couple of little skits, some sketch comedy from Josh.
No,
Chuck them up.
It's terrible.
No, it's good. We'll put them up there. A couple of reels
Let's do it. Yeah.
live.
Well, it's been said now, so it has to be done.
Surprised you got through it, Josh, because it was live action, unrehearsed. Some little skits we did. Anyway, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
We'll put it up during the week, and I reckon it's about time we leave it there, Couchy. You got to get yourself to bed, mate. You're up early in the morning.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm not half an hour ahead of you guys, so it's almost 10.
Ooh.
So
Fucking Jesus, mate. You better go to bed.
what? I've got like six hours.
6 hours. You've had a big weekend.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there then, and Josh, you can go rub some
Ointment.
ointment on your knees.
Oh yeah.
Good times, boys. I enjoyed the weekend with you. So
I feel like
That
having
was
another
awesome.
Jim Beam actually.
have one. I'm not kicking you out. Couchy's the one that's got to go to bed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I mean, if
party on.
anyone's actually made it this far in the live, thank you. Appreciate it.
No one's watched the whole
And
thing.
let us
bro.
know what you think.
No,
Yeah.
someone.
No, no one's watched it.
Yeah, the whole time someone's been here watching it. So
Yeah.
cheers
Is that
It'll
you
be Hey
to
Dog.
that person.
on comments?
It'll be Hey Dog or Caleb's like only fan member. Just fucking jerking his gherkin in the background.
You're a weirdo.
Anyway,
Anyway, I think it's
On
time
that
we
note.
leave it there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you are on YouTube, live or otherwise, we appreciate you.
yeah. But if you're not, subscribe.
Fucking hugs and kisses, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
Josh.
the fuck?
No.
We appreciate you.
Well, we do. What do you want me to say?
Well, I don't know. It just sounded weird, man.
Josh is not used to being appreciated, obviously.
Performance anxiety.
Performance anxiety. Usually fucks it up and has to do it all over again, and then people resent him. Anyway, crack a fucking another gym game, Josh. Oh, debrief.
And you'll resent me. All right. Catch you later. No.
What the hell?
It's going on. That's funny.
This is why we don't do live. G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.